The way they don't put na internet, na in AI they give you.
Now that's make we dey bring come to you the Today Show. We get segments where they range from interview on the big issues there.
We are very much optimistic, say, through the ballot, we are going to clinch the 2028 elections. Okay. Not by rigging.
Because you know when they rig elections, now during the entire for determine the system of government on wants, for determine electoral laws, so, for do boundary delimitation.
Get ready for the roller coaster ride. So we day-to-day story them as we dive deep into the heart of the matter.
This waka fine bus will be carried. If we get a proper transportation system, we'll be able to continue.
Good afternoon and welcome to today's show after lunch. Yesterday, football fans across Sierra Leone were greeted by the sudden death of one of mighty Blackpool, the midfielder, by the name of Bure Koroma. This in Daiwan sparked a lot of controversy around players' welfare and medical. But this conversation get a lot into it, and a lot has been said. But this afternoon, we get the perspective of football journalists. We will come explain to we in detail what in them think, say other current footballers them now go learn from waiting happen to Bure. This will be the focus of the conversation today after lunch. But before we go into the issue, as we'll go be joined in the studio by Toby and Reginald. Let me first of all listen to the chairman of Mighty Blackpool Football Club, Wenawodni Michael. Then when we come back, we'll go straight into the conversation on why and waiting for happen and the lessons them we current footballers them for learn from this incident.
Well, I can always tell people that say footballers are like with children, they move into football administration. And any time a problem happens to any footballer, whether an injury, illness, or whatever, now we obligation and responsibility for take care of them. Sometimes the illness can become very severe, sometimes very serious. Sometimes situation can be beyond we own control at times. In the case of Bure, today we get the news, a very big loss. One of the best players where we signed under we own executive. Last year he was very instrumental in the early part of the season. The issue happened with Bure for pass out this morning. Don't left we in the state of shock, in total frustration and disappointment. On reflection, we signed a very good player. He dedicated a lot to Blackpool during the time we were put on our field. And we get to believe as religious people in this country that now God is king, now God is take. We cannot query God. We can only accept His will. We Christians, part of we our Father says, let thy will be done. And today we have lost a very, very, very good player. Somebody will not be a fan favorite. Up till yesterday, the fans at the time we say, unless Bure come back to the team, Blackpool will continue to struggle. And he had a very, very good relationship with everybody. Even he reached out to me a few weeks ago. He told me, say, get an eye problem, we're not serious. So I communicated to the Deputy Minister of Health, trying to get another specialist for Luca, because the other specialists that we don't look at, I think that we don't try for them. So I tried to get the Deputy Minister, one of the best eye specialists in Africa, for stepping. He said, say, go try get a colleague for look at them and give an assessment. So Bure got on well with everyone, and Blackpool never neglected Bure, even during injury. We continue to make sure they pay his salaries, and the fan club chairman and the team manager have been very close to him. They continue to get relationship. Even yesterday, understanding that the fan club chairman go left on a house. That's the kind of relationship we'll get with Bure. So losing Bure is losing part of our family. A big chunk of our family don't go, and it's going to be painful. It's going to be very painful, very hurtful. And we don't really know the cause of death. We are receiving an internal bleeding. We don't send representatives to the family this morning for briefing and for assessment and for being part of the funeral arrangement. We wait for the details for come out, and now Blackpool will be part of the funeral arrangement. But we've lost someone special in the family. It's unfortunate that people want to build a story will not exist. I'm not trying to get the information, but Leon Stars, after Bure injured in the friendly between Leon Stars and Blackpool, James Fofana, they call JJ, take him to hospital, they pay the bills and everything. The general manager of Blackpool should call offer for law, move on to another hospital. We not ever desert him. The injury was severe, but the consequences from which we get the medical assessment, and I know we will disclose the medical assessment on a network, not private. But the issues raised were beyond the injury itself. They go far beyond the injury itself. But the details and the specifics are not able to mention on TV, and are not able to go beyond. The only thing we know, when I resume back office, they bring the matter up of Abure. I asked what the problem, they said an eye injury, but I also a couple of opticians and they still able to solve them. And so the only other person we go see, we're going for help will be through the Deputy Minister of Health. But what they say, the story of the say die of this morning is different from the actual problem when you get over the injury. Blackpool will take care of the players. We were two of the best doctors in Sierra Leone where they handle all the players. Dr. Sylvester Niku for general medical conditions and Dr. Conton for physical injuries, muscular pains and everything. And Bure be known after our conversation that to get access to them if you want. But when you see other doctors, even we team manager, we don't think I go to other doctor, or the fan club, we don't think I go to other doctor. So I don't want to let the public rush to conclusion. It's not fair to Blackpool for accuse we. I don't speak for the FA, but for Blackpool for accuse we say we desert Bure. We not desert Bure. We not ever desert any of the players. If the issue is brought up for our attention, we act on it. So if anybody says so, I don't think say it is correct. What is important now is for us to give Bure a befitting funeral. But the actual cause of death, we're not going to know unless they do an autopsy. But Blackpool never desert Bure. That is not true.
Welcome back. With me in the studio, I get Mohamed Toby Kabo, winner, a seasoned sport journalist, and Reginald Brian Sawyer for this conversation. Welcome, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a pleasure for there.
And I want to say good afternoon to viewers and a pleasure for them on the Today Show, the afternoon segment.
Thank you very much. We don't listen to what Rodney say. He say, let people or Sierra Leoneans not jump into conclusion early. You think that is the case with a young man don't lost in life on duty for both Mighty Blackpool and the national team, I would say, with two sons?
Thank you very much. Indeed, yes. Yesterday, I think myself been talked to Rodney Michael in the program na radio, a sister program, and more or less on the things that we talk now. I back we mentioned in this interview. But of course, you know, the country where they live now, it's a country in which waiting people the information we them give you so and they hold, yeah. But in this particular case, I want to take family and mind back that not to now we begin. It has been over 7 months since Bure been get this injury, and the match we been played, Osai Bure sustained this head injury, was between the national team, home-based team, slow to speak. It was the national team on the home-based player them in there, under Mohamed Kalon by then, and then they played against Mighty Blackpool Football Club, where Nabu and young club that anyway we know say they play for in the ongoing Leon Rock Premier League. And now Engo Bundu, now the player we been Bure been gets the physical altercation, I would say, will lead to that bleeding, and then from that moment where the bleeding happened, we understand it was rushed to police hospital. So that mean go try for see how they be able for reduce the bleeding and all. But again, you ask a question quickly. We can't waiting what they say that Sierra Leoneans will not for to go quickly to conclusion. I think say that the false information like I say we don't go and all. Now people just get for hold on to. So we ask them now a question: what was Mighty Blackpool doing in all of this? And all because again, even though the player be on an international duty, in parents club na Mighty Blackpool and all. Even though not the national team he can represent, but again, Mighty Blackpool is the parents club of the player. I really talk say they not neglect him. They were paying him salary. Yes, paying salary is also it's a mandate of the club. Devoid the fact that whether the player is injured or not injured, for as long as he's a player that is contracted by the club, then the club supposed to pay him salary, so that's no excuse and all. So I think that they've been good at them to do him. But in terms of the attention given to the player, now I will go through the maybe at some point we'll get for camp day and all. I say then get 2 doctors and all. He asked for notes that even a proper scan was not conducted for ascertain how serious is the head injury and all. You know, all of those are things that we are not looked into, and you are expecting Mighty Blackpool for push Leon Star or the SLFA for take this matter very serious. Or if Leon Star not take him, then we get the young picking for also take him, not look onto Leon Star. Even though we go maybe at some point we go get for a look at waiting the rules of FIFA they say as a player get injury where they represent in national team and all. I'm sure we'll come there as well. But again, in terms of what happened, there is no way Mighty Blackpool as a football club go push themselves out of the problem and all. I think it should be a shared responsibility between Mighty Blackpool, the Sierra Leone Football Association, and other people are really close to Bure and all. And I hear some people that they say, me for example, get a word with Bure on Saturday before he died. I come out again, me and Bure see, we talk for over 10 to 20 minutes. And then he tell me about in condition, he tell me about in situation. And I said, Bure, you go willing for can take interview? That interview now. He said, no, I can't. It was supposed to be at Epic Sports today, according to the conversation we'll get. Yes, Saturday we talk lengthily and he becomes for even there today. Because we may get this head injury, allow no journalist for interview him, allow no blogger for post about him. According to him, he say, in club with a Mighty Blackpool, they get in touch with them and all. But that kind of, it's not about getting in touch, but the car attention. Now he not be the way he deserve, now he not be the get. And at some point, Bure was full of, he been full with life. You know, be they say like possibly, in fact, they go die the next day because this Sunday, in fact, I be there on duty as match announcer where Blackpool and Old Edwardians play, and Bure been there at the field, go watch the game. It was so full of life and also. I'm sure there is a lot, but I will tell you, there is no way here Mighty Blackpool can pull themselves off this particular one. So I'm sure that statement should not be coming from Rodney Michael, particularly at this point where the family here, wet with tears, where they all lost their loved one.
Yeah, so Toby, you really what's in Rodney say? The complication between what's happened actually is not clear. He mentioned say one the young man complained of in eyes, say he get short-sightedness. Then instead of talk about the cause of death, we see the speculation internal bleeding. What in the Football Association do you think? Is it enough if they do anything in the first place?
Well, once more, I want to say good afternoon to people. And one of the reasons why we very much take this matter serious, it's about what will happen next. For me, yes, Bure come from a religious background, which they not be one for keep the player after it don't pass off. But for let we be able to get the cause of the death, I was expecting that the family should have waited a little bit, at least let an autopsy be conducted and know exactly if now the head injury the player been sustained and lead to death. But they play football in a very risky and we give God very tough time in this country when it comes to any aspect of life. Now, there is a FIFA protection agency which charged with the responsibility in looking at the welfare of players. FIFA, they send money, it's a committee where they, but that is not established or being executed for us in this country, day. Now, let me split out the responsibility, because this is what I feel say some colleague journalists no want for come and say the right thing. Let's split out the responsibility. One, I will cite a clear example in Africa, Thomas Partey. When he was playing for Arsenal, it has sustained more injuries when he can play for Ghana. So do you know what Arsenal do? When international break they come, Arsenal they give a physio to the Ghanaian national team for work freely. Because they want for look after Thomas Partey. A mandatory work now for look after Thomas Partey. But because Thomas Partey is not the only player in the Ghanaian national team, so it look after every other player. People are pointing hands on Mighty Blackpool. I'm not a fan, neither a public relation man for Mighty Blackpool, neither am I supporting Blackpool. Blackpool gets their own cause in, I'm not saying in the death of Bure, but there are some responsibility which they also neglected as a football club. Now, let me come to Leon Stars. I'm working for Epic Radio and Slick TV for a clear example. Then I go a press conference, maybe the Ministry of Sport invites me in a press conference. At the end of the press conference, then block come up, he whap me down. Who do you think for first take the responsibility is the Ministry of Sport? Because now they're in them presence when block for onto me. Yeah. They will call my parental company where I work for, but the first line of action should be the Ministry of Sport, because now they are there when I get an accident. The reality is we don't have a better Leon Stars. We don't have a better national team setup. We don't have a better structure in football. People blame Mighty Blackpool. Bure joined the national team. He was fit. He was playing for Mighty Blackpool. He not complaining that safe. He not complaining that say then send the invitation to Mighty Blackpool. So we're inviting Bure for country to the national team.
Because when they call up players,
they will send invitation.
Yes, and fitness also key, because the teams they assess their fitness before
then now, let's say Salon they call player, they will contact the head coach. He send for you 2 best players in the team. If any coach want for denying that, I challenge them. This is how they select players, particularly when they call players for be selected before they pick the final squad. They will contact the coaches, say send for you 2 best players in your team. Because they don't want to follow the institution, perhaps the coach call a player, which the coach thinks say this player is not up to the standard currently in the team. So then they seek the consent of the coach, which is not bad. It's acceptable for a coach to help another coach in bringing the best out of a player. But now the point is, Bure sustained an injury while training with the senior national team. Lampard the same. Hypocrisy first name bad Pansalon football. The whole of Leon Star team send a speedy recovery message to Mahmoud Fona Lampard when I foot number broke. Which single player in this national team send a condolence message when Bure die? None of them. So it means that in we country right now, they are picking players that have value. So for me, the responsibility should be on the SLFA. This is their own responsibility. They neglect their own. The national team gets a doctor called Dr. Songo. I understand say Bure bleed more than a pint of blood when the incident happened the very day. What was the report of Dr. Songo as the national medical team coach? What's being advised? Would I take the player for go to a police hospital? That should be the responsibility of the team doctor, not the coordinator of the national team. Neither a mere person for take somebody who don't bleed more than a pint of blood in a national team training.
Just go left an hospital.
So for me, we left Mighty Blackpool first. There is nothing for call Mighty Blackpool yet in this talk. I want to be honest, There is no way for call Mighty Blackpool. You know when for call Mighty Blackpool? If Mighty Blackpool, the rights of the club, now they cancel now. Gabriel Magalhães, for an example, is scout for Brazil, playing for Brazil at the Emirates Stadium, not for Arsenal. But because Arsenal know how important the player is, they tell them, say, okay, this player is not going for the remaining games. We want to look after him. So that should be the call of Mighty Blackpool. Did Mighty Blackpool as a club requested for them player for proper medical facility? Because that is another question we should ask Mighty Blackpool.
He gets contract with Mighty Blackpool.
Yes, now we question now we for ask Mighty Blackpool, when the player discharged from hospital, with all due respect to the Sierra Leone Police Hospital, they cannot do better for an head injury. With all due respect to them, they can't do better. Because allegedly, we talk to people, then say that the commoner don't go buy hospital materials in a pharmacy.
For can't get another hospital?
Yes, we have so many reports about the death of this boy. So for me, now that Mighty Blackpool and fighting this, it is limited. I'm not blaming the current executive of the SLFA. I'm not blaming the then executive of the SLFA. and they blame the medical department. Now we normally play football in a salon. We don't get a proper medical setup now. Football secretariat.
So I think it's about structures. Like you say, we not cast blame on individuals, but it's about structures. Structures in the sense. I'll bring you in. Structure in the sense, how safe are football players when it comes to their medical, when it comes to their well-being? How safe are our football players, the current ones? Because this for serve as a lesson. This will happen. We cannot undo this. But moving forward, what do you think, say, football administration, SLFA, and the clubs them as well, for safeguard the well-being of the players?
To answer your question, point straight, players are not safe. They're exposed to a lot of danger. In fact, they look at the welfare, and all the players are not united.
No medical insurance.
The players, there's a whole lot of things. Yeah. Now, one, I'm a member of the Leon Premier League Board Media Committee. Matches that they play, not a single ambulance, not a day in the match venue, not a single ambulance. Say, for example, I don't go watch a game I play in football before me, Blackpool versus Eastern Tigers. Before me, Panjip, and Puri goalkeeper.
So what if,
Panjip.
That in a football, what if concussion take place?
So just imagine the risks. In fact, it takes some time before they get that G play. And the person, the person in front is supposed to lay, and then foot maybe was straight, they're not even straight and safe. Then we get for make patch and rush and go to emergency hospital. It's a shame. In fact, that didn't happen. It's a shame for me we get up till now. There is no sports medicine. There is no sporting facility. For example, every side, you go now, for example, to Guinea, there is a stadium called September 28th Stadium. Then get a facility inside sports medicine and did it. Also, for example, concussion take place, then they rush go there, then go to Kita. Even when you watch games there now, you see say from injury, then they walk with the player straight down the tunnel. But yeah, when you get an emergency, sometimes they say we system so weak in which way player they get injury. No medical doctor not able to ascertain how many weeks they out for. It's a shame, in fact, because so we have people that are nurses, that are doctors, we do them club and they, but they are not the right people. Mike Q Sports gets in doctors. Then get them people away.
It's a different specialty.
Yes, when that cause they then go to them certified and know. You find out say if now you open now, for example, when they tell you say this player is out for 3 weeks, 3 weeks not the pass, it player they return. And they begin training, they give you the exact duration. I don't ever say it in a salon. So our welfare is so weak that even the players they already play to not get better insurance, not get better condition of service. Some of those clubs after the end of the season, that's it, they need pay salary. Some players they get way little, either little below the minimum wage or just exact the minimum wage. So there is a lot of things that they will really need for put right. And here comes in the Sierra Leone Football Association. Football has to be guided, and have a responsibility for make the Sierra Leone Football Association guided. What are some of the things that they've put in place for ensure say we prevent some of them things and they? And also, yesterday, imagine we played yesterday night them Bergbu. Why for tell you say the players that they are not even united and all. Yesterday, while the funeral was going on, match was played. And all. I mean, on a colleague on how they play die such a way. Me, I was expecting if we can't be so serious, if the players they speak with one voice. But as at today, in fact, some of them players they for don't go into strike. Not go to training.
I just want for
not go to training. In fact, yesterday the same for the Belgium. There was match playing. But first we play. There was another match playing at the approved school playing field and all. So all of this tells you that the players they know they. I mean, we see the press release we come up from the SLFA. Is it just about press release? Are we really taking the welfare of the players? Because to me, now the players they look like then just they use them when they need them, and then after they don't use them, then they left them just like that. But because they self no one for speak, they don't want to stand on them speak on their own behalf and all. Then all of them problems as they can. It's really disheartening that we still lay way behind. On things that we're not petty things that we for Saudi for settle. Just $10,000 they able for set for you a kind of basic. How will they go? That's how they improve. How will they go? That's how they improve. Now, quickly before I come to this one, in this like how Mohamed Toby they say just now, in case they will happen like Bou and Yun, now, for example, if now Europe now, when a player is injured, when they represent the national team, they pay compensation fee to the club until the player, as long as for 28 days. After 28 days, if the injury is below 28 days, fine. But if the injury is above 28 days, then that's FA. They pay compensation fee to the club. This is how serious the people are. The one who they learn from take up. But in Sierra Leone, we know they put all the structure. When you talk now, the man will tell you, say, I need an international, I need an nanny. Even Liberia now they try for work towards them small thing. But in Sierra Leone, it's just way like we take, we just go backward instead of going forward, and it's really hard to get it.
Yeah, Toby, this man mentioned key thing. FIFA gets a coverage. And SLFA is part of FIFA.
Yeah.
It's not so like we
yeah, they're ex-members.
They are isolated. And this coverage is supposed for take care of players when they get injury when they on the national team. So is this like what's in the structures? We start with structures.
Yeah.
What do you think first of all?
Well, I think that we are playing football the wrong way. Imagine, walking talk this talk, people say, for me, I owe no regrets in everything that they say, because you want for challenge that to bring out evidence. This is a country that they sign a player without the plan to go through medical.
Good.
So why would we play football, in fact?
You never know
even to workplace, even to where they accept you say, okay, while I work for we, they ask you for bringing medical report. Because they want to know your health status. But we not get a club where they go and say, okay, now one for sign Toby for play for regional FC. The regional FC take Toby in hospital, say go to medical. But with the bluff say we they play a professional league. With the bluff say we want a league be like Ghana, like Nigeria. We are daydreaming. 21st century clubs they don't get proper medical facility. You take no more. Some club in this country are girlfriend and the medical in the team. You get football clubs, the one and say for the players, no, nothing but sports. Nothing they don't know about sports. But you give them job.
Treatment
you give the players. Now, I want to cite an example again. When I talk, I want to cite an example. Isaac Colker, back in the days, not the Shaka Stevens Stadium, FC Cologne Central Parade. But because there was a Red Cross vehicle being there, Isaac gets a concussion.
Yeah, an ambulance. Yeah.
But they rescue him, he come back and done the entire game. Because that 2018-2019 league, not just play because of one for play football, but the structures were right. Everything been right. Now, I want to go back. Salon gets a physiotherapist who they live now. I think in Column is something, okay, not Ajet. Not Ajet was one of the coaches. Ajet was, I think, was the nutritionist. But we get a physiotherapist in the national team. Now, oversee the common, you know, the kind of All-Star game. He's receiving $2,500 a game.
I've seen his videos.
And they pay for him, flight ticket for 2 and 4. And only tell you they work, now it's a longer game. Then, now, let we just talk this in a low manner. How many courses SLFA they organize for club medics? For tell them the A, B, and C. How many trainings? How many programs they organize? How many times they don't talk to players about their well-being? For me, I raise an awareness. Bure is just one. But don't get me wrong, I know they wish that for happen. But with the high alarming rates of how players then go into tramadol in particular, I'm not wishing that, but this is the reality. We'll lose more players, if not in the field of action, but we'll lose them because of excessive drug addiction. So now it is too basic for let we organize test program for players before the game, during the game, and after the game. It'll be all sign of the world. Africa, Cameroon, Nigeria, and they call BBCon, even Comoros, their league, they test their players. But if they try to shift the goalpost because of one for score, it is wrong. It is totally wrong because there are players now. This will happen to Bure. Bure get boy picking them way born. The family go afraid for them not play ball again. These children now, don't get stigma for the rest of their life. Say, your papa play for Salonol, now they die. They don't do for nothing. Because you know why? And the reality that Parnes broke in foot against Congo Brazzaville. Salon just come up and war. They're afraid for going visa for going to any country by then. Mohamed Kalon fought so hard for letting travel with him. All waiting them for do, this Salon government for science say is going on a medical treatment. They never did. Partners almost left football and not get international contract. Now this country, players they don't use them blood and sweat. They play against South Africa, then just host the World Cup. We get a 0-0 draw in Soweto. They put match fixing on players. They put football career. This now the same country back. They put match fixing on individual because of for score political gains. Maramacha Johansson said that. Say he used that for go against your opponents. Them it's an election. What can I say? An election trick for they win the election. So with football, if not of course with football gets, there are people we need for stand for justice.
So you mentioned something very important. Just about, I think, a week ago, we get a conversation about the 100 days of the current executive.
Yeah. Okay.
And some of the gains them, where they mention is they don't organize trainings for referees and all. But one key thing we not ever show when it comes to the well-being of the players. You understand? You mentioned drug. It's very common now that players they take tramadol before they go play, and they take tramadol after, and then they get a negative effect on the performance.
A lot.
So, moving forward, for the well-being of the current players, Reginald, you don't think systems will be put in place, like Toby mentioned, wait for the test players before and after matches?
Exactly. Now, they say, I think there should be a policy from all these Premier League clubs. It should be mandatory, in fact, that all players, before signing a contract, go to medical. It is as simple as, I mean, and now we don't even get anything for detect as to whether a player don't do, anti-doping or waiting. We don't know. Maybe some players they take drug them for enhance their performance way. We don't know the way they make them perform above their natural God-given ability. So because they have not been that kind of and I will tell you, this is not, it has been a systemic problem all throughout. When you talk to this person, I will tell you, well, that's why you don't do. But the question is, that's why you continue for day all the time. We never think about growth. We never think about see how cable for get the rightful things. So a lot there, trust me, we really need for do. We need for look ourselves back and tell ourselves to go. If we not tell ourselves to go, then we will just continue for day like how we did so from football. There will be no growth in football. And then Antonio just make mention, we are not definitely ready yet for the because we ready for play football. Now then small thing and they get right and all. But look at now what is happening. The football family is divided. They are within the leadership as well. Now just their own personal interest, waiting and they can benefit. Somebody go put him in millions into the game. At the end of the day, we watch everything want, now power I go want and all. But now we go put him money genuinely just for the interest of promote the game. You know, if you content, you know how many. So all of these are things that we really need to put. So what I'm expecting now, we still not let it. Even though, for example, the current league they are playing now, these are policies where the club then can put out and all that. This mandatory clause where each Premier League club for go through. Una supposed to conduct medical this one players them ensure say una tender the report and all ensure say their ambulances them na all match venues outside game they play just so that emergency can happen at any time. Football we normally can say when you are into that pitch na make where you come out say where you go there where you come out they tell go thank you because we've seen players losing their life when they play football. You can run no more so and all other things happen. Imagine this has been a problem that have lasted for about 7 months because we not treat it with the seriousness we deserve. It led to death and all. This is not the only one again. There has been again players that we don't do with the national team and they go get problem. Last time I interviewed Mustafa Haji, it was with the national team. He came for football match. Now he left go apply for go watch FC Kalon game. Anyway, going accident. After the accident, there was no proper treatment and all. At the end of the day, Haji career wreck like a so. Alaji Yelenke for main football. Proper medical, we don't get experts for give advice okay as soon as so. Currently he's not playing football. So we cannot continue for lose player them, whether they lose their career there, now their own livelihood or they lose their lives them just because of the one for play and they live in this that talented God don't get it. So I think say the policies that they will really get for watch put the right policies them in place. And then when you put the policies in place, they tell you say we don't ready for take football to another level, we don't ready for move from this amateur level and go to the professional. Because if we not get then things and the small things right, trust me, Joseph, we'll just continue for the play football all this while, but we'll not go make progress because we still not able to do the right thing and we still do the things that way we know saying are the wrong thing and we expect to get the right result. We're not going to be possible for make we get so easily.
So this don't happen, and it's a sad one.
Very sad.
But what thing we current footballers them go learn from this?
Well, I think they have a lot to learn, particularly when you look at the broader picture now. Many players now, particularly in the mighty Blackpool team, they're in trauma now. That is the honest fact. They are currently struggling in the league, 3 straight defeats for them. And this could put the players in a position that, well, partially, the clubs have not done enough for look after Bure. So all what they would do, now that, let me say, no can kill myself for Blackpool. Because if anything do me now, Blackpool not able to do nothing. Nothing for me. So basically, these are all of the things them way the players go to think right now for mighty Blackpool. That is one. For me, I also think that the players forget so many things for look after now. Let the player get a dialogue with the club. Ask questions. Waiting at the well-being. Waiting. I want for also emphasize on this key point. I don't want to break this because I want for practically do a lot of investigations around this. I want to know if the players that are playing the Premier League, they ever get an insurance. I go even say no. Because that is when they play the left a club, they never get a proper transfer system. So how many players they under an insurance for the clubs? They not, let's say the Premier League first, because I don't go to first or second division. The Premier League, I don't even think so. If there is any insurance between club and player, then not only few clubs you will point out. And perhaps, because we are saying this now, there will be clubs to go on. Because even the FIFA Connect system, when you fill the document for any player, the system, they request for you put an insurance number for a player. Where for sure say yes, this player is contractual with your club and he also do under insurance for A, B, and C. So for me, I think players currently they play football, this not for bring the downfall for them, but this for be an eye-opener for them. This also for be that this is what they know, this is their profession, this is their job, but they also need to be protected in this job. They also need to be respected in this job. So for me, there is not much advice I get for young players or players that are playing the Premier League. Take Bangla, for example, one of the prospect goalkeepers, hip injury, puts him now on the sideline. He's currently not even playing football. He get passion for football. If we say we call names of players, we don't suffer because of small things which could have been solved before it results to big thing. For me, I always refer to Bure now as a legend. Bure might don't be a sacrificial lamb. Bure might don't be the ambassador for eye-opener for players. That's not to just for good skin, but let you club where you play for, able to take responsibility for you. In a time, particularly when you get a contract with the club. No now say, if Leon Stars invite you under 20, under 23, then you go scrap. You for not say, the SLFA for look after you for 28 days. After that 28 days, if you're not well, then for compensate your club, then your club will take form. The Football Federation. And again, if you also know your responsibility that if you be insured, any player who play the Premier League now, when I make them a must, when I talk to a club executive, say, you want to see the insurance when they don't pay for you. Because not only no more they pay, they pull some percentage of which you work for pay for you, whether an asset or whether any company wouldn't go on for do the insurance business with. It doesn't matter the insurance company whether on for use. But players ask. Then for me, I'll be make this bold statement. I was expecting that the players, all the players for boycott the Premier League this week. At the CM, anybody can quote me why, they give me reason that all the players for boycott the Premier League this week. Because when I ask the question, how much is Bure being expected where he die? How much waiting is the tribute who don't pay to them? And again, when I don't ask question about waiting will happen to now, who's next? Now Bure today, who's next? So for me, I think there is a player union, something I think, I don't know how effective it might be, but I know there is a union. No, there is a all Premier League players union. I know say that group play they exist. I don't know how strong and effective it be, but I know say that group play they. Please, una use this as an opportunity. Una make una job become value. I am working for this institution. If anything do me, they will take responsibility before even my family. Because that is what is part of my contract. Expected contract. I also agree that in terms of we educational system, some of the players are not up to the standard. But again, therefore also, there should be lawyers. I'd ask sport lawyers then I'd advise all players, try to get somebody that will stand in the gap for you in a period like this. Bullet and family not able to take no charges. But this is a case. If the family want for taken, they have the right to even sue the Sierra Leone Football Association and Mighty Blackpool to court for more questioning about the death of the player, because he was rendering service to the national team, and the national team headed by the Sierra Leone Football Association need also for be sued. If the family thought and fit say, then get the right for sue the Sierra Leone Football Association to court, failing for provide proper medical facility for a player will be done that and watch for play for the national team.
Thank you, Toby. Would it come to the issue with regards life with football and life after football for the current players? But let me just listen to a teammate, a colleague of the late man, and you think for share with me.
Like today, we're getting used like a big really golf, because this 1 week we are looking for one. I see RIP, somehow shock. I say really, I say then go ahead and pass away. I say God then get everything. Say God don't take until today. I just remember me own. With God, we said the same thing can happen to me. One of my company player, I don't feel fine at all till the whole day. I'm so sad. We're one of the best player I can say. I'm one of the most simplest player, friendly, simple, they get fun. But I'm one of the players where I can say, they take things personal, they just somehow look quiet, they always matured enough. But I remember we don't play several leagues, in terms of junior leagues, but they come, they talk together, they advise them. He say, Sam, you say what's in the gun? He say, the game will not be hard. He say, yes, now so now small. Even national issues. He say, Sam, manifest them. I say, well, all you can do now for patience. Anything in life, now God. If God say that happen for you, I say, go happen for you. I'm always simple, friendly, and so now look caring as well. No more able also. Okay, remember we can play, come meet me, say, Capi, what's in the gun? He say, look, Fetao, and believe how they play. If always, for they do extreme, they do extraordinary. I just want to let everybody know, say, life, now we can say we do things, but God now gets the final say. I come Blackpool, I expect we can play together. But unfortunately, I come to get an injury and I'll be able to continue, and I'll be able to make come up. But football, you get bad one, it's normal in life. You get bad one at the end of the day, you pick them up. But in presence, can make win, in presence, can make loss. All depends on what God don't mark and what God say. If God say, boy, no go for day which we, nobody no go believe, say, but God don't take until today. If other people let me talk, say, boy, go for die today, we no be ever expect it for happen. So the same thing in football, boy, can play with the loss. Like, he can play, the team can win. So for now, the team get bad one. We just get for come together as a player, as a whole, not put things together for succeed. Well, to the family, I can say, boy, I like a brother, I like a friend, I like everything. Show them people like boy in talent we get at the end of the day, they never achieve. But let them take heart. This na God. God know why. God can do things. We no go question God. There are people and they don't die. At the end of the day, it's the same thing. You can't question. God don't do it if he say he right for her. So let the parents and take heart. Like me, I go to personal this morning. I go whatever for sympathize with the family and wife. Why they cry. At the end of the day, at the same time I tell her, say, let patiently take heart. Then as we as a team, because we go there today, we go sympathize. We don't get this loss, standing obvious. Though we play at them, what nobody expect. At the end of the day, we can't see them, we can't hear them. So for we, some of players then go scared. say, hey, this do happen so, this do happen so. But I hope say we go push ahead. That these are bearing in the past. They don't die done. They go get good road. You know, as the Blackpool fans they now, the management and now, I just want to let them say then try them best. But you know, if not good enough now, so God one time because the solution for one day, God will not say when they die, you know go die. Solution for most kinds at the end of the day, if we're able for God for make, we're able for save and we don't pass away. Lord just take out, Lord keep the faith, Lord just know saying a God in time, and a God don't take out from me. We don't die today.
That's now Bure intimate. And he mentioned say it afraid. Moving forward, like Toby ended, this don't leave a scar at the players them, especially that of Mighty Blackpool. But for the rest of the football family and current players. But beyond football, now, what do you think? What do you want to think? But we'll start with you, Regina. What do you want to think players therefore begin for develop them skills aside football? Because football lifespan, not the past 30 years or 27. Active football, let's say 20 years. Then we'll not get that kind of infrastructure as alone. We probably, after you don't play football, you go into football, journalism, or you think players therefore begin set their mind into something else whilst they play football and after?
Thank you very much. Yes, like you rightly say, I think myself now, one of the things that I'm working on the advocates for, that there is always life after football and all. And that's the various, players, the way they play for no say. In football, things in the way, sometimes, like you say, the lifespan can pass 20 years. But particularly in this part of Fenway safe, maybe you play, say, na 10, 15, actively 10, 15 years. After that time, then they no club, in fact, no they seek you service, then they, how you get for survive after that 10, 15 years and all. You have other people that way. Some are unfortunate to get called up na the national team. Again, maybe you don't call in the national team plus minus, you must get like $2,000 or $3,000 per match or so. You play 2 games, you don't get like $5,000, $6,000. If you get called up more than one time, you don't get money for invest. But again, are these players really thinking about life after football and all? Like you say, yes, but Salona one can contribute something can happen, and that's all the ideas in the camp. But we see past 1, 2, 3 weeks, people they don't begin forget back and all. And the truth is that these clubs are not paying well. Yeah. Football not a pro game, it's a multi-billion industry. If you don't get money, not go for football. I don't like me, anybody where you don't get money, sell the club. That is what the president for FACA Foot do, Samuel Eto'o, the Federation of Cameroon Football Association. Where you go, he meet about 18 teams. He tell them, say, hey, they reduce this number of teams. I think they have 12 teams now in Cameroon. I stand to be corrected. And he tell each manager, say, if you don't get this certain amount of money that you club account, we roll out the club, we pull and come on at the league. And that's why you for feed out. A lot of people get club way. A lot of people in the power of football, they don't get no business day, but they are there. All in the sense of saying, I get this club. You are not paying well and all. You get if the Ministry of Labour, they really go and check some of them clubs and the way they pay below the minimum wage. Where government don't put it when at 800 loans. We have clubs that are paying. There's a player that I know. We tell me say in salary na 400 leos. In fact, and I think it don't go 600 leos. Can you imagine? And if also that money, constant for us. Sometimes they will pay you this month, next month, and they pay you. The club will tell you, say, you don't get money. Or the club will tell you, say, games are not the full up. That is not only player in business, whether person go watch game or you not go watch game or and also you not get any influence for the player in salary. Yeah, the player is working. Exactly. And also Salona a country where they sign player, it's like now for life. What I mean by that name? Then they sign the player and say 2 years contract. When 2 years contract don't respect how the club they own you like say you and all. And that clause we will get, which is our last club played for. If we not revisit that clause, that they seize advantage for a player there. We even though the player in contract, he go don't sign, Toby go don't sign me na regional and Toby FC for 2 years. I don't serve that 2 years. Follow the player be a free player now. Where another club one signer, the law will get now. They tell you say the Toby forgive release for me. Where Toby the can't take that release there now. then they, unless they give Toby money before Toby release me. We not to say that happen. Internationally, we no get contract, now the player and the agents. But again, we get local agents say we go do the cause. They are not even relevant. Then they sign club, then player to player, manager to manager, agents and all the day. So a lot of things and they will we miss so. And all. Exactly, we are not one in the football eye for one. Each player in England or other parts in Africa get agents. We don't do the cause. We get local licensing agents. We about now be 22 of them go do the cause. By right now, them for be representative of them players here. So we for seek the welfare. We for the advocates on the player them behalf. We for ensure say always entitled to the player gets up. But again, that is not happening. So a lot of things in there. But along the way, some of them talk in the way we they talk, and people they like say we are against the system. We are against. But some of we want for go we sleep. We know say even though things that we know say they're not going for change. But nobody know what this welfare business what they talk about. So we don't they talk and say let them begin think about the welfare of player, life after football. The one that we be the play we don't pass now. Look at to legend there. As they show me Sidiki Brabos, with all due respect to him, a player we don't serve his country, we score against Nigeria or beat Nigeria. What is here right now? He's not living a life where it's not too bad, but again you expect him for saying one kind of status. Look at we past players them. Look at we late legend we died, Gino Tumbu. He suffered until he died. And all. So that alone, past thing that will happen. So anything that we call it to happen, don't if I don't give the player enough lessons, say, hey, we need for back up, we need for engage in other things, not to education self, but find a skill way. After football, you go engage in that skills because you get for live your life, you get your family for take care of, and other people that will depend on you. You know, go find me, you don't play tomorrow, at the end of the day, you don't get nothing for sure. So these are some of the things where I hope say then lesson here, so the player they go really learn from them, and then they go see how they can for make their life better.
Okay, Toby.
Yes.
Quick one. The issue of players, them life after football. Very important. Like Reggie mentioned, myself know somebody who play for Eastern Lions. He played for the national team. Sadly, he died na be graveyard attendant. Imagine a whole national team player. Yeah. He died at a very old age. He played for the Leon Stars. He played for Eastern Lions. Retired to virtually nothing. I want to bring the Ministry of Sports into this because then I would say then they regulate every sporting activity in this country. Now we talk about football, but this is not the same thing way other sporting disciplines they suffer from. You think the Ministry of Sports they do enough?
Well, that is an entity for me I'm not proud of. That is an entity I don't even want to talk about. Then I proudly for say that is one of the president is human. There are times there are mistakes where they make. But for me, I will always reference this because I've not been thinking, say, Ibrahim Yelenke, they may even deserve for pull and from the Ministry of Sports. I want for coming. That is something, again, our Let's League TV look at. They pull a 17-page. They talk about the success story of the Ministry of Sport. There is nothing in that sports sector we're for proud about. Then, I make a statement which I want to come add on to again. Now, James Fofana, we send an 11-minute audio now on social media. Say, in don't spend 12, 13, 14 to 15,000 or 15 million. Pambure. Now, JJ responsibility, that means the SLF not do nothing. Because JJ audio say, in don't spend 10, 11, you know, call one figure, you say don't spend up to 10, 11, 12 or 14,000. Pambure. Just imagine. A national player, they train with the national team. He's not even training, they play game. He sustained an injury. JJ saying don't spend your own personal money in the audio he puts. He said, what's making left? 2 about them fit. So they're making left, he pull on. Just imagine, SLF neglect a player, they die. Because they don't do nothing. The SLF don't do nothing in Bugadis in case. They don't do absolutely nothing. Because JJ saying, I use your money. Now, you asked a very good question, life after football, I want to be honest with you. Do you know why these players are killing themselves? Because they want to play for Leon Stars. For let player better in Salona, pass to play for Leon Stars. Yeah. Even if you are playing for Bow Rangers. If you don't play for Leon Stars, you are nothing. How much How much player did they pay $1,000 per salon? I've worked for a club, I've worked for 2 clubs in this country. The highest earner in those clubs, they get 3,000. Yes. There are foreign players. There are foreign players where they play for certain club. Eastern Lions is one. Bo Rangers is another. They respect the foreign players. But do you know why they expect them? Because the players know their values. The players know, say, you don't fly me from another country, bring me downtown for can play for your club. I should be paid big. These players, they get agents where they talk to this club. If you not pay 1 month, they complain to the agent. They want for pay because they sue them to FIFA. They sue them to FIFA. So we for start to value our players. I don't want to follow no patch. They say life after football, now with the players and then salary and then for keep. They can't save that money. So they can't.
So as we round up,
yeah,
you just speak around the issue of player representation when it comes to signing contracts. They get for sick legal. You mentioned that earlier.
I want to tell you again, the one they win at the agents them back, they're all hypocrites. Some of them reach out to me. I want to start that. You know what they say? They say, "Do you are not starting now because Babadi and executive and just scam?" Yes. If you force me, I will call the agency name.
That's okay.
Then say, no talking because somebody tell them say if they start for talking now, it go affect Babadi and the executive.
Okay.
They say person will support Babadi and tell them say, "Do you want to wait first?" So which means I can't even say that on TV or on radio because then say no one for man up. They don't get thick skin. For say we are doing this because of justice. We'll start to feel the pinch. I want to borrow the words of Pali. The hottest place in hell is kept or reserved for those who keep quiet when they're in a moral crisis like this. Bure don't die today. We don't make it yesterday. It is done. We don't forget about himself. I went to the room where Bure died. It don't waste past that room. They get over 5 pints of blood. Is this the type of life we want to give our players? Is this the type of life we want to say who footballer then gets? Bure don't die. If we don't test our players for drug addiction, we'll lose more players. I'm Mohamed Tobikagbo. Goodbye.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure having you. The Kids Parliament being meets and they officially ratify what they call a landmark bill will be entitled Skills Education Must Be Compulsory in Schools. This will happen at the 9th Parliament sitting on November 22nd, 2025. Slick TV, Mohamed Bakke, Kamara, Bindede, and now report.
Members, with your leave, I beg to lay on the table of this honorable house the following papers. Skills education must be compulsory subject in schools.
The Well of Parliament was filled with pupils from more than 12 schools across Sierra Leone to advocate for the many voiceless children across the country. The life-supporting bill was being laid.
Madam Speaker, honorable members, as young citizens, we have questioned ourselves and we believe in practical education, not just theory. We do not want to get the papers anymore and hire experts to come do it for us. Therefore, as law influencers, I have laid before you a bill we want to discuss. Thank you.
As it was expected, the bill met an opposing defense from the national leader of girls, Honorable Jacqueline James, stating the unavailability of qualified teachers and electricity in schools, which makes the bill very untimely. A supporting view from the national leader of schools, Honorable Victoria Bayo, emphasized that the bill was more galley in that it protects girls from abuse respectively.
Madam Speaker, who will teach these skills? We don't have enough qualified teachers. This bill is untimely and unlikely. Honorable members, many schools lack electricity. Talk of workshop. How can you teach coding or carpentry without tools? Thank you. I believe what we should be discussing here are issues surrounding education. The public exams are out. A lot needs to be discussed on. If not,
Madam Speaker, point of order.
What order is that?
Issue 35.
Granted.
Madam Speaker, I do not want to believe that Honorable Jacqueline here is the one saying all of this, as she is the national leader of girls in this parliament, and she should know better to support a bill like this because girls need more than books. We need tools. Skills education empowers girls to be independent, confident, and safe. This bill is a protection against abuse, and she should be the frontliner of it. Let's stop the party politics, please. Madam Speaker, if we check her monthly report on the many reasons why girls are still being sent to early marriage or still being abused, it's because of no skill. So I'm wondering why she's frowning at such a good bill like this.
These young, vibrant kids discussed issues of national concern in the guise of her kids' parliamentary sitting. For Honorable Jamestina Koroma, Sierra Leone is not ready to forcefully embrace skills education in the secondary school curriculum because the current state of the country's economy doesn't match the wishful thoughts in minds.
We're not just opposing the idea that skills education must be a compulsory subject in schools. We're looking at the word must, that is forcing something on us. Let's be honest with ourselves. Our country is not yet ready to make skills education a compulsory subject. We're talking like we have everything in place, but we don't. We have witnessed with the bigger parliaments. They debated on the financial status of our economy, and it's no secret that we're facing financial instability. Madam Speaker, schools are crying for chalks, for chairs, for teachers. Pupils are crying for exam entries. Teachers are crying for salaries. And now you want to add a whole new subject that needs tools, trained instructors, maintenance. These skills you're talking about are sewing, building, cooking, and the others. They are already in university and vocational institutions. That's where they belong.
Although her voice was echoing, Honorable Jamestina's argument was not convincing enough to Honorable Nyanda, as she believes that the current state of emerging reports on drugs and substance abuse is a result of idleness and lack of skills among youths.
The reason why we are seeing young people into drugs on streets like zombies is because they're idle. They get frustrated because of no skills. But if before leaving secondary schools they teach us some skills, we are giving purpose, we're giving us rights, we are giving the power to say, I can do something with my hands, I can earn, I can help my family. So to my opposition friends, we hear you, we respect your worries, but we ask you to look at the bigger picture. This bill is not about adding stress, it's about adding strength. It's not about politics, it's about protection of our future, our dreams and our country. Thank you.
With a strong message in a soothing tone, Honorable Baby Girl pleaded with and convinced the Honorable House to make skills education compulsory in secondary schools, citing the economic benefits that skills education brings home from abroad.
She is right. We need skills education to be compulsory because if it is not, people will be thinking it is not important. Sometimes, when we say we want to be a plumber or mechanic, people laugh. But those are the serious jobs our uncles and aunties are doing in another country, building big houses here. Please, Madam Speaker, make it compulsory so that everyone will respect it, and so that when we grow up, we will fix our country with our own hands.
Madam Speaker, honorable members, be it resolved that this honorable house hereby ratifies the paper which was laid in the table of this house on Friday, 21st November 2025. Skills education must be compulsory in schools.
Mohammed Bake Kamara, Tower Hill, Freetown.
Thank you to Mohammed Bake Kamara. So we bring the curtain down to today's show after lunch with me, James Kanu. And for say special thanks to the production team for bringing the show together. Until tomorrow, have a lovely day.